So can you tell me, what are some of the biggest challenges facing the insurers currently?
So the fundamental challenge is, how does an insurer in today's market create products that they can sell, make money of, and allow them to exist on an ongoing basis? Secondly, it's about how they adopt technology. I was down in Monte Carlo this week at the Rendezvous, which is the reinsurance event. And technology and the Insurtechs was very much high on the agenda. So there's a whole swathe of alternative capital coming into the market that's fueling the Insurtechs. And the industry is trying to understand, well, what do we do with Insurtechs? Do they represent a threat to the core business model, or are they elements that can be incorporated? Can they add incremental value, etc.? So getting their heads around how do they interact with potentially new business models and new sources of capital, and how the value chain in their business is going to be recast is probably one of the biggest challenges that they face. One of the other things to consider, and we can learn a little bit of a lesson from the past, is what happened in the internet boom. So here we had another wave of technology coming into the market, and we saw three organisational responses. We saw the ignore, the adopt, and what we've titled the but-fors. So the ignores were, well, actually no one's ever going to want to do banking over the internet or buy insurance over the internet. That's fundamentally insecure. So people are just going to ignore it. And we can see that was obviously wrong. We had the people that would adopt it, that say, actually the internet's quite good. I could, rather than me sending you an annual report, I could download that PDF from a website. That would be great. And then we had the but-fors. And the but-fors are, but for the technology, can the business model be operated? So when we look at the internet, we could see that the but-fors turned out to be people like Amazon for retail, and insurance to turn out to be people like the aggregators, that compare the markets, etc. So again, following the but-for. So but for that technology, the business model couldn't operate. So if you look at the aggregators, there is no backstop to their business model. So if the internet were to cease to operate, we obviously know that that's not going to be the case, but if the internet were to cease to operate, their business model, it becomes inoperable. There's no alternative way for them to operate their business. But it's very, very technology centric. So when we look today at some of these Insurtechs and what we're trying to do, we've seen the ignores. It's never going to work. People would never buy reinsurance, they'd never buy insurance, however what it might be. We've seen the adopt. Actually, I can see how AI and big data could be used for me to make better decisions. But the but-fors are only just starting to emerge. But when we see those business models, and it's about the business model, I think we're going to see the market really starts to take off.